I look at the Eagles, man, and the Eagles, are they the best team in the NFC? That's something that we have to start talking about. I mean, you talk about the Lions, and we saw the Lions the other night, and the Lions they looked very beatable. And, you start looking at the Philadelphia Eagles with the consistency, how Jalen Hurts is playing that offensive line. Saquon Barkley looks like he's the best. He looks like he's the MVP of the league, at least the offensive player of the year. I mean, can we be talking about the Philadelphia Eagles? I mean, really making a run and being the best team in the NFC, Mike.
And think about how their season's gone. They were 2-2 at their bye. They had a very early bye, week 5. They got embarrassed by the Buccaneers, and that made me sellers of the Eagles because, guys, you got embarrassed by the Bucs in Tampa in the playoffs. That's the game that should have been circled on your calendar at the start of the season. We get a chance to go back and get a little redemption, and they looked like crap against the Bucs when they went back down there in week 4. But ever since the bye week, some teams lose their way like the Bears during the bye week. The Eagles found their groove. They've now won 6 in a row. Yes, a lot of those wins are against bad teams, but they still win. And last night, they got the win that is going to make people say, okay, at 8-2, they're almost where they were last year. They were 10-1 when the wheels came off. And I don't know if the wheels are going to come off this year. Maybe they learned some lessons. That's something Jalen Hurts told me a couple of weeks ago after one of their wins, that basically a fool isn't a fool because he made a mistake. A fool is a fool because he refuses to learn from his mistakes, and I'm going to learn from what happened last year. And we see them stacking wins now, and Saquon Barkley helps. Let's hear a little bit from Saquon Barkley from last night on how they were able to wear down the defense as the game went on, and Barkley really, by the end of the day, had a great night.
We kept trusting it. We made some checks, and we were just a lot of those runs. When we go back, and we were just one away. Whether it's one block, whether it's one read, or I might have been a little too tight, or I could have hit it outside. They did a really good job too. I'm gonna give credit where credit needs to be due. Washington came out with a really great game plan, but that's the beauty of football. You could stop us for 20-something carries, but if you rip off 2 long ones when it matters most, the stats look pretty good, and most times you get a win.
Yeah, it was just a very kind of disappointing performance from Saquon Barkley until he exploded, until the offense woke up. He finishes with 146 rushing yards on 26 carries, 5.6 per carry, and 52 yards in the passing game on 2 catches. He had 198 yards from scrimmage and 2 touchdowns, and he could have had a third. He was stopped short of the goal line. Jalen Hurts scored on the tush push after that, but Saquon Barkley, and they were chanting during the postgame show as he was being interviewed on the Amazon Prime desk, "Thank you, Giants," loudly. And thank you, John Mara. Thank you, Joe Shane. Thank you, Brian Daboll. The worst nightmare of the Giants came true this year, and it was punctuated last night.
Yeah, Mike, I don't understand, if you're the Giants, how do you get rid of a guy like this? You see this talent every single day, and to save $3 or $4 million bucks, it was just a huge mistake by them. And Saquon, he's just like Derrick Henry. You can hold him down for 20 carries, but eventually he's going to break a couple and make those big plays. And come on, Micah Parsons, this is unbelievable. This dude needs to stop. He's always got something to say. Always got something to say.
Yeah, and hey, Micah, you still wouldn't be in first place in the division if the Giants had kept Saquon Barkley, because they'd be a lot better this year. You'd have the Eagles, who would still be pretty good, and the Giants better, and the Commanders. You'd be clearly in 4th place. They should thank the Giants, because at least the Cowboys can compete with the Giants to avoid last place in the division.
Well, yeah, let's give a lot of props to the Eagles defense too, and Vic Fangio, defensive coordinator. I thought they did a great job of really mixing up the coverages. It wasn't a lot of fancy things. It was some cover 3, it was some man-to-man, it was some one robber when the safety comes in the middle and he's reading the quarterback, watching the spy. But I thought they got after it. Kobe Dean has been fantastic at the middle linebacker spot. Jalen Carter, he's having somewhat of an all-pro season. He's been one of the top defensive tackles in all of football. And I just like their activity in the secondary. You got Cooper DeJean. These guys are big, they're fast, they're playing, they're competing. And I just like what he's doing on the defensive side of the ball. I think they're going to continue to get better. And I'm telling you, a guy that's having a really good year is Josh Sweat. I mean, every time I look up, he's in the backfield creating havoc. Jordan Davis, he's a big centerpiece in the middle of that defense. I like what they're doing. The Zach Braun, he's been awesome with that speed and that athleticism.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.